Yeah, good.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Haha.
It's you
I
now,
forgot.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's you.
After that whole conversation, I totally forgotten. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to introduce the show, Clive?
I would love to, Darren.
Oh, that's lovely.
Gong, 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 fu.
Hello and welcome to Ychyfus, the Kung Fu Film Podcast, with myself, Clive Davis, and him over there.
Darren Jones.
Hello there, Darren.
Hello, hello.
Should my.
Da iawn, diolch.
And we're recording this, I guess, in the taint part of the year, right?
Well, see, I learned a new meaning of the word taint.
Right. Okay.
Oh no, that's something else. Sorry. No, sorry. Yeah,
Well,
I was thinking of.
I'm thinking of the it taint the asshole and it taint your bollocks is that bit in between. And this time of year is that, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Either Christmas.
Yeah, no, sorry,
or
I was
New Year.
thinking of a different word that I'd recently learned the phrase of, and it was similarly filthy.
Go on, you might as well as a between Christmas and New Year treat.
Yeah, it's the perineum is also known as the Gooch
The Gooch.
around here. The Gooch, it's called.
Oh, is that what the proper word for it? The perineum.
Perineum.
Perineum. That sounds like a mountain range.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I suppose if
Yeah.
you've got some kind of rash down there, it looks like a bit like a
Yeah.
mountain range.
Well, yeah, or one of your piles has fallen down.
Yeah. Gooch.
You know. The Gooch, yeah. The Gooch.
Is there a bit more etymology to that, or is that it?
Not that I know of, but that's a project for our listeners.
Yeah, I suppose
If
it's
you'd like to write in.
It's close to gulch. I can see a bit of a gulch around there.
Well, what's gulch? What's gulch mean?
Isn't a gulch kind of like a valley or something like that, like a small valley?
No, that's a gorge, Clive.
No, I know
Gorge.
what it is. Is it gulch as well?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a word I only know from westerns.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He's holed up in
the Gooch.
Gulch or something. Oh, in the Gooch, yeah.
He's right on up in the Gooch, he is.
Yeah.
Hiding away between the hairs.
So that brings us neatly to the subject of today's show. Last time, Darren chose a Wilson Tong double bill, and we decided to go further into the world of Wilson Tong as director. So we're going to talk another four Wilson Tong joints.
Yeah.
And kind of drift off from the Ychyfus template somewhat. But, we can do whatever we want. So
We can, and there's foo in every single one.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there's almost Norman Choi in everyone as well, but he wasn't in that last one.
He was in the last one.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yes. In hang on, which is the last one now?
Mostly Bus.
Oh no, Simon Yam, innit? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused with the order I watched them in.
I see. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So all right, we'll crack on then. And the first of our four is Duel of the Masters.
Yes.
Taiwanese production from 1983, or AKA Gods of Wu-Tang. Gods with an S or a Z, depending on, how hip hop you're feeling.
Yeah. Or how hip you are.
Yes, yeah. And so this is, it turns out, so this is the joy of this show for me, is kind of zeroing in on things and finding little kind of threads. So yeah, obviously this belongs to the very small, but it is a category of Miracle Fighters rip-offs.
Yeah.
Which we got into before when we were talking Drunken Dragon, right?
Yeah.
And
which we need to mop up all of these films.
yeah, I think we probably have to. Well, we probably have to do the proper Miracle Fighter series. We're doing it the wrong way around, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then I wonder how many other Miracle Fighter rip-offs there are out there.
Yeah. Pop quiz listeners, if you can, not pop quiz. Why did I say fucking pop quiz?
I don't know.
Why did I do that? Why did this is fucking recorded posterity. Gooch quiz.
Gooch quiz.
Gooch quiz, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yes, if you can give us names of all the Miracle Fighters knockoffs that you know, then that might help us assemble some new podcasts.
Yes. And yes, you can win a photograph of Darren's Gooch.
Yeah, I can do it at any magnification level that you want. I've got a very good camera at home.
And yeah, because the thing is as well, I'm assuming...
And if you'd like me to wear underwear and pull it to the side so you can see a bit of the underwear, I can do that for you as well.
There you go. Providing a valuable service. Yeah, they didn't like it last year though when you did that picture to the orphanage. They didn't like it. Ungrateful, parentless fuckers.
I know. I should have chosen a non-Catholic one.
Yeah.
In retrospect,
So
Miracle Fighters knockoff.
Yes. Plus, as well, I mean, again, this is one of the things that's interesting about this is, this isn't called something like, weirdo fighting magic masters. It's hiding behind this entirely generic English title. Duel of the Masters. That could be anything, right?
Yeah.
You're wondering what titles they might be hiding behind these other Miracle Fighters rip-offs, right?
Yeah, so much so, if you rewind to the previous podcast, the previous Wilson Tong podcast, this one totally slipped my notice anyway. I don't know about you, Clive, but totally slipped my notice because I had confused it with Challenge of the Masters that Wilson Tong was kind of a little bit in.
Yes, and I confused with that other film called Duel of Masters.
Well, yeah, there's another film, Duel of Masters.
I remember being kind of rubbish. But again, who knows? Unless you actually watch the things, there's no way of knowing, right? So which is kind of part of the fun of all this is finding what's hiding behind those generic titles, right?
Yeah.
And in the case of this, it is a Miracle Fighters rip-off, starring. So, yeah, there are two kind of masters. One played by Randy Yen of the Yen clan, who did actually co-choreograph this, right? With Specter, Wilson Tong.
Yeah, well, it's down as Yen clan choreographed, co-choreographed, isn't it? Yeah.
Hong Kong movie did. So I'm not exactly sure which ones, but I'm assuming at least Randy Yen.
Yeah. Well, also, I find it a bit strange that it's down as Yin Clan, and Yin Clan films usually have the bloody lot of them in it.
Yes, yeah.
And there's not sight nor sound of anyone apart from Brandy.
No. Usually, to be very politically incorrect, they're the jippos of the country film industry. They all end up in it, right? But yeah, you're quite right in this case. It seems to be just him on screen, at least.
Yeah. But it would be odd if Yin Chun-Yi or Yin Chun-Yan or any of the other ones were around and didn't take a part in the film.
It is a bit strange, isn't it? I'm just wondering if because it doesn't. I didn't catch anything the credits of the actual film, so I'm wondering if that might possibly be an error over at the Hong Kong Movie Database, or where they got that from, or
yeah, could be. Very much so, because there's no one else in it that we can see, is there?
No, and there's nothing. I wouldn't say. I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to speak to this more. There was nothing distinctively Yen clan about the fight choreography. Like it wasn't like unmistakably.
Yeah, no, and it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
but it's not quite that. It's not quite what's in the Miracle Fighters films, is it?
Nothing. No, but well, I wouldn't say nothing like it, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they divvied it up between them. You know, Wilson Tong does the hand-to-hand stuff,
Right.
and you know, Brandian does all the walking on walls. You know,
Yeah, I
weird
think
stuff.
one of the reasons it might, which says something positive in a way about the film, is it feels as if it's quite well integrated action, even though it is a very episodic plot. It's not episodic in the way that story, stop for a bit of a fight. Like,
No.
all the fights seem to come out of the story as episodic as it is. So
yeah.
It's almost as if you don't think of it as a kung fu film. You think of it as more of a, I don't know what category you'd put it in. It's like a...
Well, I think we nailed it when you introduced it. It's a Miracle Fighters knockoff. So
Right.
It's a
Right.
kind of a fantasy kung fu. Well, it's not even a fantasy kung fu film, really,
Not
is
that
it?
much. It's like a buddy comedy with supernatural and action as necessary, I suppose.
Yeah. Or it's like a wizard battle film or something you could call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wizard rivalry film or something.
And it's got so the two Brandion and kind of surprisingly Fung Hakon actually. I don't think of Fung Hakon in this kind of role, but he
does a fine job.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So they're the two masters, and so Brandian and has an apprentice. They both have an apprentice. Brandian's apprentice is Norman Choi. Fung Hakon's apprentice is Sunny Yue, right? Who doesn't seem to be in much.
Well, because we had 4 films to watch, and because I was very busy getting drunk for Christmas.
Yeah, important work.
Exactly. I neglected to look into Sunny Yu, but his name is another one of those names that's kind of spoken of in awe.
Right.
Amongst a certain section of the...
Yeah. No, same here. The name registered with me.
Yeah.
When I went to look it up, I thought there'd be a filmography as long as Iran, but there's the Shanghai 13, which he's in.
Yeah.
So
but everyone's in that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in that.
Everyone in the fucking Hong Kong film industry is in that.
Yeah, but I do associate Sunny Yu with Chang Chia as well for some reason, like as a kind of periphery Venom or something like that. And he's also in Raiders of the Shaolin Temple, and that's
I've seen, which is great.
Yeah, and that's about it. And then he has a cameo on something called 36 Super Kids, which I've not seen. Yes, and then I had to look over the IMDb just in case there was television credits, maybe, I thought, but there was nothing there. So
no.
So if you know a bit more about Sunny Yu or Sunny Yu, let us know, because again, he does a pretty good job here.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks the part, doesn't he? Like I can imagine, like I don't know, like I can imagine him in like an Alexander Loray type of film. Do you know what I mean? He's got that kind of thing.
Yeah. He's like a good version of Meng Fei.
Yeah. Like I can imagine there might be some Taiwanese like video series or TV series or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let us know. I'm sure lots of people will, or if they ever get around to listening to us, they will know stories. And I get the feeling, I don't know why, maybe it's something I overheard or heard off someone. I get the feeling that Sunny Yu's notorious for some shenanigans off screen as well. That's the feeling I've got, but I'd failed to look into him. So
okay, yeah.
Let us know, listeners.
Let us know, and you will also be rewarded by Darren's Gooch.
Yeah.
Hang on now. We might be disincentivizing people from...
I can
if you
digitize...
don't ask for it, Darren's not just going to send you unsolicited pictures of his Gooch.
No, and I will. It is available digitized as well for sensitive viewers.
Well, yeah. For instance, that'll by law, if you're in Japan, we'll have to put a mosaic on it if we send it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, unless I do it in enough close up that it does in fact look like a mountain range.
Or a gulch, whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah. I can put some flour on it, or icing sugar on it,
Yeah,
on the dimples.
draw little cactuses or something in
That's
them.
it. Carry
So
on.
anyway, back to this film that we're supposed to be talking about. And yeah, so as we said, it is an extremely episodic just series of events. So obviously Brandy and Fung Hak-on are competitors.
Yep.
So yeah, they're always getting into kind of little kind of magic-y sparring matches.
Yeah.
And they're two apprentices as well. And eventually it kind of culminates in, well, first of all, there's like a supposedly haunted house. There's a fake haunted house with a hopping vampire.
Yeah.
And then a real hopping vampire turns up.
Yeah, enjoyed that bit.
And then almost at the very end, you suddenly get this backstory about another character, a doctor, as played by Quan Chung, who fell over when he was a kid and his hair turned white.
Yeah.
And
has vowed revenge ever since.
Yes, although it hasn't done fuck all about it, apart from refused to give medicine because Fung Hak-on's got asthma. So they agreed to restore his hair color, so then he can go and woo there's like a local elderly, she's like a widow or something, I suppose, who all the three leads seem to have the hots for.
Yeah, yeah.
But of course they just dye his hair, and then when it rains, it comes out. Wow, wow, wow. But that's enough to incentivize him to want revenge. So yeah, it's quite a silly old plot, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a silly sausage of a film.
Mm.
And it's some nicely what's the word, reused soundtrack bits in this as well, isn't there?
Yeah, you got Psycho.
Halloween's in there.
Oh, was Halloween in there as well, is it?
Yeah. Halloween's right at the end, if I remember right.
Isn't that Bloody Fight you're thinking of?
Oh, fucking hell, is it?
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of this, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Halloween. That was a bloody fight. Sorry. Yeah.
But I'm sure there's lots of Nick music in this. The only one I could identify, but I'm crap at identifying film music. Psycho's a very obvious one, so I got that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's a much lesser film, I think, than Miracle Fighters or any of the Miracle Fighters films. I think it's a bit less than what's the other fucking film called that we reviewed?
Drunken Dragon.
Yeah, you call it Drunken Dragon, and I call it something else. Exciting Dragon. Yeah. But yeah, everything in there is kind of, it's not hilarious necessarily, but everything in there is fairly interesting. And it zips along at a fair old pace. And I think that, like you were saying, I think the episodic nature of it is just kind of little sketches, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And it never goes full on Miracle Fighters nutsoid as well. So, for instance, Brandy Ann does ride around on this mechanical wooden horse. Yeah. Which is full of wine. And at one point, the saddle extends up in the air. Yeah. But that's about it.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, I wanted a bit more horse business. I wanted more gadgets coming out of the horse.
Yeah, or a watermelon monster or something.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like yeah. No, and that's the thing, and I think because it's kind of, it's as you like to say actually on your other podcast, it falls between two stools, doesn't it?
I do like to say that. Yes,
I know you do. Yeah. So there's a little. Little sweetener for you there, Cliff.
Thank you,
little homage to you.
Yes, the connective tissue between
That's
the
one.
pods.
That's the one. Yeah, but the film doesn't decimate for me.
Up it out.
I think it's everything in there is good, right? Everything in there is good. The choreography's good. The comedy's entertaining enough. There's enough variety in there to keep you interested. But you're not leaving it with you're not leaving the film with the same feeling as you had with Exciting Dragon, Drunken Dragon, or any of the Miracle Fighters films, because it's kind of, as you said, it's not quite.
No. If we were to draw an analogy, actually,
Yeah.
There's a scene in which Emily Chu disrobes somewhat,
Yeah.
which is nice,
Yes.
but she doesn't disrobe that, which would have been nicer. Would that be a good analogy, do you think, for the gentle joys of Duel of the Masters?
Yeah, I think so. But also, I think that we're in the very lower end of sort of film budgets on actually all these 4 films that we're reviewing. And sometimes you really, really see the join. It's like there is this quite cool sequence. There's this quite cool sequence with Wilson Tong cameoing.
Yeah.
Where he hypnotizes Emily Chu.
Right.
To like, I can't remember why he hypnotizes her now.
I think there's another older fellow we don't see in the rest of the film.
Oh, that's right.
Takes a fancy to her. And
yeah.
Did you notice in that scene, actually? Yeah, because he's like a sorcerer, doesn't he? And he like puts some spell on her so she like walks hypnotized through the streets. Did you notice there's miniature work?
That's what I was saying. That's where you see the join. So that's where you see the join. It's an action man in a Chinese dress.
But it's cute. You don't often see that in a country film, right?
No, I enjoyed it.
Miniature village and a little jerky kind of like suddenly well, no, that's probably giving it too much. But Jan Schwankmeyer with a hangover took over the film for like 5 minutes. Well, like a minute or something.
Yeah. No, but it was cute as a button.
Yes.
But you definitely kind of see the join. You see the join, and you see the kind of limitations of the budget.
Yeah.
Although the fight between Fang Hakon and Brandi Yin in the temple, I think it is really good. Where they're sort of it's kind of it's they've put the camera at different angles on the set, and they're
climbing up the walls. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's Inception before Inception, isn't it?
Well, that's it. See, that's it. And I liked all the vampire business as well, because actually he did actually give a little bit of atmosphere, I thought, in that vampire scene where it's kind of they're kind of twirling around, like stop motion twirling around, and that was pretty effective, I thought.
It's suitably spooky enough. I mean, it's a totally different film for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, it's kind of interesting. We should probably mention as well, so there's 2 different versions of this as well, right? That and I actually did a side-by-side comparison.
Oh, well done. Yeah.
So there's one, and they're both on YouTube. There's the one as Duel of the Masters runs about 94 minutes if you take away the trailer at the beginning. And then the other one, which is up there as Gods of Wu-Tang, is 82 minutes. So there's a fair bit of difference. I mean, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but what you are missing is there's about 3 minutes at the very and they're quite arbitrary, so I'm guessing they must have been done just so it could fit on a tape or something like that at some point.
Yeah.
But at the very beginning, where they go to the market and Brandi Yen dances with some girls who are doing a skipping rope.
I bloody loved that bit. I thought that bit was cute as a button.
Yeah, but it's not in the Gods of Wu-Tang version.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is, I wasn't sure, but the other bit I'm not sure if it, because this made me laugh. There's a bit of dubbing where, they've decided to make it sound like a market. So, but there's someone with a very Southern American accent going, what is it? These paintings are the most reasonable price this side of the Great Wall of China. Which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
So that's missing.
Yeah.
The bit where Sunny, I think it's Sunny Yu, has to run. Sunny Yu has to go and collect children's urine.
Yeah.
Give to his master as medicine.
Yeah.
Hilariously mistaken dwarf.
Yeah.
What's his name? I wrote his name down. Ai Tzu Wang. Hilariously mistaking him for a child.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's a bit where he sneaks up on. There's the dwarf having a piss, and you don't know he's a piss yet. He's saying, "Oh, can I Sonny Jim or something, can I have your piss? For some
Yeah.
reason, Aizu Wang turns around and goes, I will not be your father.
Oh, really?
Which I didn't understand, but made me laugh. That's
Yeah.
missing. There's another bit missing, which is confusing. The whole bit where Norman Choi gets Brandy Yen really, really drunk by making him a cocktail with an umbrella in it.
Yeah, with hotel miniatures.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
really anachronistic.
And that bit is, I was wondering if there's supposed to be more there that we're not getting in translation, because that bit is where when he makes the drink and then he puts a little pink umbrella in it.
Yeah.
That scene just before he makes the drink, I'm pretty sure Brandy Yen's character is acting, at least in the English dub, really, really, really camp in a way which he wasn't in the rest of the film. Like, he's delivering his lines in a really camp way. And then suddenly he gives him this cocktail with a pink umbrella. So I don't know if there's supposed to be some homophobic humor or... Anyway, that bit's cut out, and the bit where he explains to him about the blood of the Zodiacs.
Yeah.
So then when he later beats up that poor man called Dragon for his blood, we don't understand why that happens if you watch it in the Gods of Wu-Tang.
Oh, okay.
He just beats up a man for no reason.
Yeah, because he has to get the blood of the 12 animals of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
And one of them's a dragon, so he beats up someone who's born in the year of the dragon.
Right. Or his name is Dragon or something.
No, I think he has to be born in the year of the dragon.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because the solution to that in the plot is, because that doesn't work against whatever. Is it the vampires? Yeah, it is the vampires, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's the vampires.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
And the solution to that is Sonny Yu's character, who's not called Dragon, he has to take his blood.
Yeah, because it has to be the blood of a virgin, doesn't it?
That's it. Yeah. And
then the other last bit, a couple of minutes cut out. So it all adds up to about 40 minutes. There's another bit, actually, after they've got rid of the hopping vampire, and there's like a weird prize-giving ceremony, right? Where they decide who wins the prize for who. Yeah, that's missing.
Well, that's actually
all fun bits, but they don't overall affect the tone of the film. I don't think if they're missing.
No. But
we don't get the skipping rope.
Yeah, I like the skipping rope, and I also actually like the prize giving bit because in the prize giving bit, it's basically a draw, isn't it? So Brandy and Fangakon, it's a draw. Whoever this person is handing out the magical, kung fu prizes he declares it a draw, and so they nominate Sonny Yu and Choi Soo-keung to fight it out in a manner of their choosing, and whoever wins out of the students is the winner.
Right.
And Choi Soo-keung wins because he chooses a competition not of martial arts or magic or Taoist stuff. He chooses a competition of whose nose is the biggest. And then he wins.
Yeah.
That was one of my favourite bits of the film.
So there you go. If you're like that, and you'll be wanting the full uncut Duel of the Masters, avoid the Gods of Wu-Tang version.
Nazum edition.
Right.
Yeah, the Nazum cut.
So, yeah, I think that's about it, really. I don't think we've got a hell of a lot more to say.
No, I mean, I would say that when there are fights on screen...
Oh, it's good stuff,
The fights are really fucking good.
Yeah, I would say that they're some of the most well choreographed fights this side of the great world of China.
This side of Cactus Gooch.
Cactus Gooch, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Brought it right.
So I think it's well worth a watch, isn't it? So it's well worth watching. It's weird enough to keep your interest. There's some hopping vampire shit in there, some Taoist shit in there, and the fights are really good.
And Emily Chu takes her clothes off a little bit.
A little tiny bit. Yeah, you get to see her shoulders and possibly a bit of her legs.
Yes, a little bit of Emily Chu is better than no Emily Chu.
I agree. And this is quite early on for Emily Chu as well, isn't it? Because this is before most of the big stuff she's done.
Yeah. Right, so there we go. So that's actually all. That's the only proper old school Foo film we'll be talking about, really.
Yeah.
And so we move forward 5 years to a bloody fight. Yes, I think that's probably the highlight of this film, isn't it? And you'll be hearing it at some point, edited in, the
Good.
Cantonese cover of Europe's The Final Countdown.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, a bit of the Halloween soundtrack towards the end, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one produced by I think from Wilson Tong's production company as well, Attraction. I think.
Yeah, because a lot of these were from Attraction Film. I didn't actually work out if it was his company.
Well, everything. I looked at everything released by Attraction seems to be Wilson Tong films, so I'm guessing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
He's also the choreographer, and for me, this was the most disappointing film in this selection for me.
Well, this was my favourite.
Oh, interesting. The reason it's disappointing was because I was expecting, for some reason, going by the cast and the director and when it was released, I was expecting balls to the wall action. And it's not really. There's an awful lot of bollocks between good action, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Good action, bloody action, lots of squibs going on.
Yeah.
But the stuff in between, I didn't really, it wasn't even like entertaining in like a silly way or like it was just didn't do it for me.
Well, yeah, no, fair dues. Well, it's a by the numbers gangster film, though, isn't it? It's a by the numbers triad film.
Yeah.
And even more so, it's a by the numbers triad film, triad brother and friend who is a policeman film.
Yeah, I mean, I can do this in under a minute, and then you can. Yeah. It's basically Norman Choi and Gordon Liu grew up together. You get black and white flashbacks. Gordon Liu's become a police detective. Norman Choi has become a hitman for the triads. He's accidentally shot a woman in a shootout, so he's conflicted. He wants to leave the life because he now has a wife and son as well, but they won't let him leave. And Gordon Liu's investigating his last hit, which was shoving a fork through Fung Hakon's face in police custody.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the triads kill Norman Choi's wife and child as well. So then eventually him and Gordon Liu team up for revenge. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
No, theoretically, I should have really enjoyed this. But I expected more action and edge, and it doesn't quite push it.
Well, I'd agree with you on the action front. On the edge front, actually, and this is something that we're going to see, in my opinion, in the next 3 films, or in the 3 last films that we're talking about, is Wilson Tong does not have a problem going quite dark.
This is true.
On certainly these later films of his. Because he's pulling no punches with the violence in the
Yeah.
films, although there could be more of it. He's pulling no punches on, indiscriminate killing of women and children and wives to motivate characters. And again, it's not a nihilistic film or anything, but it's not. It's got that typical kind of spoilers for the ending. It's got one of them fucking dies heroically, but also kind of tragically at the end.
Right.
But
we
yeah,
should mention as well, the villain is Cho Yen, right? The director, Cho Yen.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy, again, spoilers, you can enjoy his final comeuppance by imagining all those Cho Yen films which you tried to watch, which introduced 200 characters in the 5 minutes and you got confused. This is your revenge. You get to see him blown up.
You know what? If more Kung Fu fans listen to this podcast, you'd be in loads of trouble, Clive. Dissing Cho Yen like that.
Come on, bring it.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the fence, but there we are. No, but actually, I mean, I think that I quite like although it's by the numbers, I quite like the kind of the commitment that Wilson Tong had to just doing triad shit and just making it nice and violent and, putting nasty rapes and gratuitous shower scenes. It's like there's a shower scene in there, isn't there? Which just is just a woman in the shower. Unrelated to any of the plot. She's not, she's not murdered as soon as she comes out the shower. She's not going to have sex with someone in the shower. She's just it's just footage of her having a shower.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I might have a slightly lopsided view. I realize sometimes that because I watch quite a lot of crap and kind of gratuitous crap, I sometimes forget what is and what isn't gratuitous or yeah.
But highlight of this film for me,
was Europe's final countdown.
Well, it is, yeah. Well, ovs. But there is a particular fight in here, that is fucking head and shoulders above anything else you'd have seen in one of these generic triad films anyway, and that's Lau Kar Leung taking down some fucking thugs in a warehouse.
We forgot to mention Lau Kar Leung. This is quite near the beginning as well, isn't it? Because Lau Kar Leung, spoilers, doesn't last very long.
No. But so Choi Soo-keung works for Lau Kar Leung. Look, I've started saying Lau Kar Leung instead of Liu Chia-lang.
See, it's easy if you try, isn't it? You just,
and Choi Yen is Lau Kar Leung's boss, triad business, and Lau Kar Leung is obviously the honourable triad sub boss that Choi Soo-keung works for. But so Choi Soo-keung gets cornered in a warehouse, and Lau Kar Leung just opens up on about 10 to 15 thugs, and there's like baseball bats getting shattered over people's heads, and then the halves. And then the halves of the baseball bat going into people's guts. And
this bit is definitely the best.
That's the highlight. That's the best fight.
If they'd
all those,
if they'd have played the final countdown over this scene, it would have been easily the highlight of the entire film. Yeah.
Yes. So that's worth looking at, or that's worth remembering.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that you were saying about the indiscriminate killing women and children. There's a scene in particular, and it's undercut us because there's one of those car bomb scenes which you can always see coming in almost any, and I don't care who does it, like even like Scorsese doing it in Casino or something. There's something about when people stage these car bomb scenes, it's like they can't help themselves by a certain editing rhythm that you always know it's coming.
Yeah.
Very rarely in a film does a car bomb go off and you don't get it just at least half a second before. Always, that car's going to blow
Yeah.
up. And
Yeah.
it does. You can be that annoying person who says it.
Yeah.
But this film has the most protracted one I have ever seen, I think. Like, it's not half a beat before. You know about 2 minutes before it happens. It's gonna happen, and the boy goes in the house. Yeah, for fuck's sake. So then when it does happen, it should actually be quite shocking because it happens in very close proximity to Norman Choi. It's like right in his face. But because it's, it's coming, it doesn't really work. And plus, he doesn't immediately rush out of the house to try and see if he can salvage something of his wife and child. He just stands at the window going, oh no. It should have been a powerful scene, but it's quite badly handled, I think.
Yeah. But everything in this, and then I do like, and I'm a sucker for the whole sort of revenge plot thing. So you've got Choi Soo-keung, who's like a hitman. He's that's his job in the triads. Sneaking up on the thugs who set the car bomb, or is it the thugs who raped? No, it's the thugs who raped Gordon Liu's sister. Because Gordon Liu's sister gets raped, then murdered.
Yeah.
Who becomes really fucking quickly after his wife and child have just died.
Yeah.
Who becomes Choi Soo-keung's girlfriend.
Gets stuck in there pretty soon, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
She ends up not just raped and murdered, but then dumped in a bag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bit's quite nice and nasty.
And then, so he sneaks up on the boat with one of those boat pike things. What do you call those things on a boat? It's like a pike. It's like a spike with a little hook, returning hook.
Yeah, I don't know.
The ones.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
With a big hook on it, and
I think it's called a gooch. It's a gooch snatcher.
It's a gooch pricker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when your gooch is all itchy. Yeah.
And that's actually where he puts it.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I seem to remember.
So, there we go. I'm right. Obviously.
Sticks
he
it
was
right in the
careless with it.
Yeah. So there's lots. There's a few quite nice kind of revenge scenes, and the end's pretty good with Choi-yun and Choi Soo-keung. Choi-yun gets handcuffed to the steering wheel of a car, grenade. Choi Soo-keung and Choi-yun just blow up. Gordon Liu's off the hook.
I think the thing is, I mean, there was like dozens of these. Right, and I thought this was going to be a bit more of an out. Like I suppose I was expecting something as impactful as I don't know, Angry Ranger, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not that level, right?
No.
But it's
again,
it's nasty, brutish, and short, right? Like whoever said that about life, right?
It worked for me. I mean, it's like I say, it's in terms of budget, in terms of, well, I wouldn't say talent, but kind of, the cast kind of by this point in the 80s, they're kind of B-list actors now, even though they were fucking massive in the 70s. And the budget and all that. But yeah, it's for me, it's just it zips along. There's lots of violence in it. There's that really fucking amazing fight between Lau Kar-leung and all the thugs where he dies. I thought that was great. And yeah, it's just a nice level of triad brutality.
I wonder if the difference between your reaction and my reaction might be one of just like a proximity. So, for instance, when do you think the last time you watched a similarly kind of generic, nothing special, but kind of zipped along, satisfyingly brutal Hong Kong action film of this era would have been?
Good point. I don't usually watch Hong Kong action films of this era.
Right, so I'm just wondering if that might, because I watched half a dozen of these last week or something, so it might be that over familiarity with the tone, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm in agreement with you. If you haven't necessarily been overdosing on them recently, this probably is a good one to watch, as if not outstanding, a pretty good one. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the react I would. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll get on board with that. But yeah, I think as triad films go, if you've got an hour and a half spare, and you want to see Lau Learn kick some ass, so you want to see Gordon Liu in a variety of lovely jumpers and stonewashed jeans.
Yes. And if you want, to the misappropriation of a Gooch scratcher, this is the film for you.
Is that what they call the final countdown in your neck of the woods? Is it the Gooch scratcher?
Yes. For those of you concerned, once again, I didn't just sing fake Cantonese sounding nonsense. I would never do anything quite so racist on.
I was assuming that you'd learn the words, or at least the first line.
Well, obviously, I was convincing. Because
did you just make fake Cantonese up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Fucking hell. It was quite good, to be fair.
It wasn't bad. It might have accidentally meant something.
It probably did, Clive.
Yeah, it probably did.
Done?
Yeah.
Yes.
I start my own language. Goochinies.
Yeah. Goochinies. Yeah. So that will do us for that one, do you think?
I think so. Right. So now I think this was my highlight of these four. This next one, even though it is a fucking hot mess of a film.
It is.
No
It
sense.
is. And also, it's a Christmas film. We're broadcasting just after Christmas, or recording just after Christmas. And in one of the first, is it the first scene or one of the first scenes where the woman gets killed? She's got a Christmas tree in her apartment.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Damn, we could
Merry
have played
Christmas.
this for a Christmas special. Yes, Merry Christmas. So this is 1 year later, 1989. And this is, once again, Wilson Tong, director, producing attraction film and choreographing with Wong Chi Kung. And they're both in it. They both have little parts.
Yeah.
This is Ghost Ballroom. Which is, yeah, I don't know if that, I wouldn't have called that club at the center of it as run by Chen Kang-ye Kung Fu Genius. I wouldn't have called that a ballroom, but I suppose you could call it a ballroom. It's more of a
discotheque, Clive. It's more of a discotheque.
Yeah, but primarily it's some sort of hostess club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an escort bar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So as you said, the opening scene is a woman, well, smoking a bong.
Yeah.
And then Ken Lo and his goons break in and chuck her out the window.
Yeah.
She dies.
Yeah.
Then she seems to come back in the form of Dan Kwai Chi. Except no one seems to notice. No one seems to put two and two together that she's dead, but she's still walking around because it was in the paper, right? It was in the fucking paper.
Yeah, but not even that. Not even that. Tai Bo's character, whose fucking car she landed on.
Yes.
Who goes to the bar, and she's one of the most popular girls in the bar.
Yeah.
Does not know until she starts manifesting supernatural shit that it's a dead woman.
And also even Ken Lo, I think, who killed her and chucked her out the window later on in the film, starts stepping out with her again as if being dead is something, well, we all have our deficiencies, you know.
Well, Ken Lo set it up, I think, but the other thugs killed her, the other gangsters killed her, didn't they?
He runs into the room. He's clearly there when she goes out the window, because that's...
Oh, he does?
You recognise it because of his glasses.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I do like Ken Lo in this, by the way.
Say again?
I do like Ken Lo in this.
I like a bit of Ken Lo. He's good at playing like a sleazy kind of...
Yeah, he's good at playing a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is a shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the film, really, is basically she just wants to take revenge.
Yeah.
And takes all the fucking film to do it. She's not very good at taking revenge. And then for some weird reason, decides to enlist the help of some taxi drivers, including Norman Choi, Gordon Liu, and Tai Bo, who really like gambling. There's a lot of gambling.
There are an inordinate amount of taxi drivers playing fucking cards in this.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it.
No. And for no reason I could really figure out, she enlists their help to bring the guilty parties to justice. And in the meantime, she just spooks about a bit in a variety of ways. There's a weird cameo from Lo Lee.
Yeah.
Looking uglier than usual. Not to be mean to Lo Lee, but it took me a while to actually decide if it was him or not, because I was like, no, that's like Lo Lee's ugly brother.
Oh, I disagree. I thought he looked quite dapper in his chunky jumper.
Well, I didn't. I thought he looked horrible. But
maybe you haven't seen a Lo Lee film in a while, and maybe you just forgot.
Could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, and yeah, so he takes her home, and then a disembodied hand freaks him out.
Yeah.
And then
You
at
didn't get
another
much of a. There wasn't much of a payoff on that one, though, was there? Because he was
no,
obviously a cameo from Loli, and you kind of see, she kind of lets him rip her arm off, and her arm's got all stringy bits at the end. Not
yeah,
very well done. But then you don't actually see him die, or you don't. There's nothing grisly at the end of that,
no. Jung Sing turns up as a monk. Jung Sing, who's also in Burning Paradise, turns up.
Yeah.
For a bit of, there's a little bit of fun, kind of Taoist, shiny magic.
Yeah.
He's got a talisman on his foot.
Yeah, like
and
that.
stuff like that. That's
And a cage and a magic basket.
a magic basket.
Got a magic. No, everyone likes a magic basket.
There's a pretty good bamboo pole fight with Gordon Liu.
Mm.
That was good. Although the whole reason behind the fight seemed to be just someone called him old.
Yeah.
And he got really annoyed.
Yeah, that's right at the start, isn't it? That's like, and actually, I remember trying to find a trailer for this before I watched it, and the only thing I could find on YouTube was actually that fight, that pole fight in the construction yard between Gordon Liu and I forget who.
Right.
But yeah, and that's if you want to watch that in isolation, that's a good one to watch in isolation. But yeah. No, you carry on with the plot, and I'll give you my opinion in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I say plot. It's just a string of things that happen, right? But
yeah.
There's some gratuitous nudity, of course, because we need that. Also, Ken Lo's character is sometimes called Master Condom, subtitles, but sometimes Master Condon. And another bit of subtitles I liked is when I am here, do not panic, reads as I am here, do not panic.
Ah, yes, I remember that one. Oh, I've got to go back. I've got to flip back for a minute. I've got to flip back a minute to a bloody fight.
Right.
I wrote down a quote, and I'm not going to find it because everyone's just going to hear my papers flipping.
Okay.
But there's a bit where Choi Soo-keung is in a bloody fight, is confronting someone associated with the murder and his wife and kid.
Right.
And the subtitles read, "How dare you? My wife have been exploded." Which I found quite amusing.
He's got a good point.
How they have been exploded.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Words to that effect anyway. I haven't got the exact quote, but something like that.
Very insensitive. He's the kind of bloke who would, sing in fake Cantonese or something like that. Tone deaf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Imagine if they sang the final countdown in fake English.
Yeah. Champai ha hingo. Oh, I've done it again.
Hey, fuck's sake, Clive.
I bet it means something. I've accidentally said something.
Yes.
Right. So, is there anything? Yeah, there's another bit where she's kissing someone. I think it might be Ken Lo, and she reveals her corpsey face. She's kissing a corpsey face. Yeah. And all those bits are actually, they're all right in isolation. They're not bad at all.
Yeah.
But it's such a fucking mess of a film. Like, and I have, actually, it's quite interesting. I have a theory. So, I wrote this in my review. So, according to the Hong Kong Movie Database, the script is by Attraction Creative Team.
Aha.
So my theory is they put like a hat on the table at the attraction office, and they said, "Anyone got any script ideas? Put them on a bit of paper, put them in a hat, and then the first 10 we pull out, we'll write them into a script." And they didn't even write. I think they just sellotaped them together and then shot it.
That's the thing. That's the thing with both of the Ghost films. So Ghost Ballroom and Ghostly Bus is they don't know what the fuck they are. They're trying to shoehorn a load of gangster shit into a ghost story, and
Right.
displacing the ghost story stuff with the gangster shit, and displacing the gangster shit with the ghost story shit.
Yeah.
And
Although
it's
Ghostly Bus, I think, gets closer to pulling off a kind of coherent narrative.
yeah.
This doesn't at all, right?
No, but there's still a lot of unnecessary gangster shit in Ghostly Bus.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yes. But that said, though, as I said at the beginning, I did actually rather enjoy Ghost Ballroom because it's never boring. There's always something happening, whether something spooky, a stupid bit of comedy, the competition to eat Taibo and who is it? Is it Chan Chuen? Maybe like trying to eat egg tarts without just using their tongues.
Yeah, but they're doing it. But the thing is, they're licking out.
They're licking out egg
They're
tarts.
licking
Yes,
out egg tarts in front of escort girls,
yes,
who are getting very excited.
Right.
With the licking out techniques.
Yes. Unfortunately, Nat Chan is in this film as well, and I fucking hate Nat Chan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all zips along. Something different happens. Just as you're getting bored, Loli turns up to be well ugly, goes away.
Yeah.
Something else happens. There's a bit of action. And it's all right. I kind of enjoyed it, but it is a fucking mess, and that's about it's about the size of it for me.
Yeah. There's a gratuitous nudity in the swimming pool.
Yeah, good. Not enough gratuitous nudity, really. That's one thing it's missing.
No.
It's a bit coy.
No, but you do get it's gratuitous nudity with Feng Hakon thrusting.
Yeah, and doing that type of thrusting that they only did in Hong Kong films in the 80s. You know, that. Which I think if you tried, you'd break your cock, I think.
Yes.
Without proper warming up. It would just off.
Yeah. And you know, there's and the ghost is basically in a negligee throughout. Which works.
Yeah. That's Ghost Ballroom. Yeah,
thoroughly entertaining. And now to the next item on the agenda.
Yes. The more ghostly stuff. We're jumping forward to 1995 now, right?
Yep.
And yes, so Ghostly Bus. Again, director producer Wilson Tong, who did what little choreography there is with Feng Hakon.
Yep.
And so interestingly, there's the screenwriter Johnny Lee, who also directed a few things, including A Day Without Policeman with Simon Yam also, which I've not seen, but some people seem to quite like that film.
Okay.
So he's also credited as, whatever this means, executive director.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So I'm wondering if this might actually be Wilson Tong co-directing.
Yeah.
With screenwriter Johnny Lee. I'm not sure what an executive director does really, but you do see that credit from time to time. Like for instance, those the confusing credits on the Angel series, right? Like you have you're not quite sure who did what.
No.
But anyways, so this one, yes, there is a ghostly bus. And it's the last bus of the night, bus 97. There's a bit of a subtle handover satire there, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And so that's driven by Vincent Wan, is the driver of the last ghostly bus of the night. And it turns out that this bus was confusing. So the bus seems to have gone over a cliff at some point and everyone in it died. But the bus, I guess, is clearly still in being in use, but it's confusing as to whether the bus is haunted or the bus route is haunted. But regardless, it means that as long as the ghosts on board, which includes like a Chinese opera troupe who sing and entertain the ghosts on the bus, as long as they don't haunt passengers on other buses, then they are allowed to ride the last bus of the night, as long as they promise to stay away from other buses, right? And so, yeah, Simon Yam is a pickpocket, it seems.
Yeah.
In league with Taibo and Fung Hagon. And his wife is one of the people who died in the bus accident, which is partially his fault as well.
Yeah, yeah, we won't find that out till a bit later on.
No, spoilers here, but it doesn't really matter. And she's played by Valerie Chow, who looks very nice indeed in a pair of tight shorts in one scene in this film.
She does indeed, she does.
And in fact, the scene when they're at a pool, I could have sworn, I mean, maybe difficult to tell, but I could have sworn that pool on the roof of a hotel is exactly the hotel that we stayed at when we were in Hong Kong.
Ah, cool.
Possibly. And I can't even remember what hotel that was. But
no.
Yes, so Valerie Chow wants to, kind of be reunited. So she's asking the driver, Winton one. Meanwhile, the other ghosts want things from him as well.
Yeah.
Including one whose wish is, I want the Madonna photo book.
Yeah. And that would have been that sex book
Excellent,
that was it, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Which I remember getting a lot of ink in the tabloids.
Yeah, places it in history quite nicely.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, and then the gangsters want to get back at, because Simon Yam's pickpocketed money or something else from them, so they're after him. So Valerie Chow ends up kind of protecting him, but then there's another a ghost turns up with a Freddy Krueger claw as well at some point.
Yeah, that was lots of fun.
Yeah, and then
that's in there for no reason.
Absolutely no reason at all. And
no reason.
For me, but this was a lot less fun than Ghost. I found this slightly more tedious until the final 10 minutes, which is when the Freddy Krueger claw turns up. That rather good reanimated skeleton thing whose head comes off.
Yeah, with the guts, with the entrails. Yeah, that was
like,
good.
Almost like Mystics in Bali type.
Yeah.
That was really well done. The effects for that, I thought, were really well done.
Finale's good. I even liked the last shot. The last shot of her floating up was quite nice.
Yeah, oddly enough, it was quite touching. Like, because it went for it. It was overly sentimental, but they did it without tongue in cheek. They just honestly did it, and I thought that's rather nice.
That was nice. That was nice. Yeah, because she floats up in a wedding dress as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, into a pool of light, you know.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Prior to that, though, I found this a little bit, I mean, not terribly tough to watch, but it wasn't as fun as Ghost Ballroom for me.
No. Although, I mean, I think Simon Yam being in a film automatically elevates it.
He's good, isn't he, Simon Yam?
Yeah. Even when he's in a one-piece swimming costume, a number of times throughout these films, that is just fucking distracting for anyone who comes from a country where people don't wear one-piece swimming costumes.
Right.
You know, we don't swim in leotards over here.
No.
Do you swim in a leotard in Japan, Clive? Do you get a lot of that?
No, not really. No. It's something I in my mind, it's very Victorian.
Exactly.
Walk with a leotard and a pipe and a moustache.
Yes, exactly.
Like the
yes,
set,
quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a trilby.
Yeah.
Also, funny enough, that reminded me, for those of you who like the Peaky Blinders TV show, have you seen the Peaky Blinders, Clive?
I watched some of it and then I kind of gave up on it, but not terrible,
same.
but it wasn't.
No,
quite,
that's fine.
Yeah,
no,
it
same
wasn't
here.
quite what I expected.
Yeah. But there's some quite good razor blade business.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Well, the Peaky Blinders of the
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So Simon Yam likes to keep razor blades like in his mouth under his tongue, in case he's attacked by the gangsters.
Yes, and also for slicing pockets, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But also he attacks people with. Yeah. People are scared of his razor blade skills, and there's a weird scene at the end where he has a deep kiss with Tai Bo just before he dies, and then he passes a razor blade, and then he defeats some gangsters with his razor blades. So that's a nice little.
Yeah. Well, like we said, in general, that last 10 minutes is definitely the highlight of the film.
Yeah.
And I like some of that. I was reminded as well. This seems. I don't quite know. I don't quite know how to articulate this properly, but there's a little roaming camera work of like a double-decker bus just going up and down, and there's something very specifically Hong Kong about this sort of straight up, no nonsense, prowling, on location camera work, where they haven't fucked about with they don't care that the lighting isn't strong enough that you can't see anything, but it lends it an atmosphere. Yeah. It's weird. It's like, I think some people would consider it slapdash, but I think it's not slapdash. I think it's a choice. So what? This is natural light.
Well, it's the problem. Yeah, but also, it's also handheld camera work.
Yeah.
Which is a choice as well. And they made that choice for budgetary reasons, the lighting.
Absolutely. But what I mean is, it doesn't feel like a compromise. It feels as if
exactly.
That looks good. Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's something is odd, half formed in my mind. There was something I was thinking about while watching this. I can't think of anywhere else so other places when they make kind of spooky films, it's a haunted there's something about the location is important, like a specific location, like you're in that trapped in that house, but there's something that Hong Kong specifically does, I think, where it's not so much a location, it's like almost the whole city is haunted. Like you can be at any point anywhere in the city has a potential for there to be a ghost, because the one character sees ghosts everywhere as well, right? And there's something about that, like the whole city is potentially spooky, which is not necessarily scary, but it lends a kind of, I don't know, almost like it's like another way of looking. It's like the first time you read Lovecraft or something, and then you think about the potential for a gate to anywhere, like if you find the corner of the woods, or
but not even that. If we're talking about Hong Kong cinema generally, and this film absolutely falls into this category, is just the kind of acceptance of ghosts, like you were saying. So no one's batting an eyelid that someone's got a tin can out and burning hell banknotes because they think they might have pissed off a ghost.
Right.
Or it's that time of year, or it's when your dad died, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And ghosts are very much an accepted part of the city in this film.
Remember, when I went to Hong Kong, I do remember going down the street and seeing someone burning stuff on the side of the street, and it wasn't notable particularly.
Yeah. No. And I mean, I quite like. Excuse me. I quite liked some of the effects in it as well, as cheap as they were. We talked about the head, the disembodied head with the guts hanging.
Well, that was good. That was genuinely proper.
That was good. Yeah. No, that was good. But there were a few little moments where, and editing is everything. Where there's this weird disembodied head, and it's probably the same head they used, that appears for just the right amount of time before it disappears. Right. As someone's going up the stairs in the bus, or is seen in the reflection of the window. you know, there's bits in it where, you know, the bus starts like raining blood. That's obviously straight out of Amityville Horror.
Right.
But,
Right.
you know, but I think all the spooky stuff was done quite effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And there's when you see the aftermath of the bus accident as well, there's like this weird effect where it goes in and out of black and white and color, and you see splashes of gore, right? I
Yeah.
didn't expect that. Again, to your point earlier, where Wilson Tong's not afraid to go just that little bit more nasty than you expect.
Yeah, it's like the pole goes through the driver's eye and all that stuff.
It's weird, actually. Speaking of Ghostly Bus in retrospect, but I think this is more I think I was right in my objective initial opinion as a critic, but subjectively talking about it has made me appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah.
It's not terrible by any means, but it's not a particularly good spooky film. But again, like now that this era of Hong Kong cinema is finite, and looking back, I think this film is more enjoyable to us than, I think if you saw it when it was brand new, you probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, because it doesn't have that time capsule feel.
No, yeah, but also it depends what was around the same time, doesn't it? You know, I mean, forget about the West, but it depends what was kicking around in Hong Kong cinema in 1995, and the answer to that is probably quite a lot that was a bit better than this.
And it would have been Ghostly Train, Ghostly Toilet, you know,
Ghostly Gooch.
Ghostly Gooch.
Yeah,
that's got to be made.
This episode of Ychyfus was brought to you by the word Gooch.
Yes, and the number 5.
That's it. From the Children's Television Workshop.
So not too much more to say about Ghostly Bus. Like I said, it's a bit more, talking about it has made me appreciate it a little bit more, and I can imagine taking another look at it one day as well. You know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, and it's weird because I think all of these films, every single one of the 4 films that we've reviewed, is not entirely successful. Right? There's not one of them that's a fucking you must see this recommend. No. They're all kind of but you know. But I think in every one of them, there's a weird combination of sincerity and unnecessary nastiness.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
Yeah. No, but it's strange, isn't it? Because Wilson Tong, like we said, is prepared to just move us over the line of decency, just a little bit. You know, just pushing it a little bit, but at the same time, in each film, and I count every single film on that. In each film, he's really, really trying to get you, you know, pull your heartstrings as well, and probably about half the time he's succeeding. Yeah.
My takeaway from this little show, this little collection, was that obviously Wilson Tong, in his element, is the old school Fu days. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah,
that's him at his best. That's where he belongs. That's what he's going to be remembered for. However, outside of that comfort zone, straying into other areas over the years, he's no slouch. He can actually, and surprised me actually, because like you said, even though a lot of these are kind of, neither of them are really great films, when we were talking about doing it, you mentioned that you had heard that, you know, the perceived wisdom is that Wilson Tong totally squandered his talent on these films, and I think that's only semi-true, right? I get what people, I guess what they're saying, but the thing is, I'm not sure if there was the market for the films that he was best at. So he was clearly trying to work within the confines of what was commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
And that weird kind of hybridity of him, because he tries to get as many fights in as he possibly can.
Oh yeah.
So within that hybrid nature, he occasionally has made some spots of, there's some entertaining spots in all these films, and they were all, I don't regret having watched any of them.
Not at all. In fact, well, it's somewhere before recommend.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah,
but also, no regrets watching them. I've found something interesting in numerous interesting things and entertaining things in all of them, and I must say I wasn't bored during one. We've watched 4.5 hours of Wilson Tong, more or less outside the kung fu genre,
right,
with this podcast, and that could so easily have been a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, but no, I agree with
but I found something really, really cool, really interesting in each one of these films.
Yes. In fact, you could even dub this episode, Wilson Tong Can Do No Wrong. But that would be a bit of a lie.
It would be a bit of a lie, because none of them are fucking perfect, and none of them are great films.
And I would go one step further. Not only did I not regret it, I mean, how many films are in the Wilson Tong filmography as director?
Not many, like 10? Yeah, something like that.
I would go so far as to say, I think I shall be mopping up the remaining dregs.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Same.
I quite fancy to just... because he did a few after this as well. There's like a couple of actiony ones, and there's a few kung fu ones I have.
There's some more ghost ones as well.
Ghost ones, yeah. I'm quite happy to, like, I would even take, like, if it was possible, if you could get all of them really easily with subtitles, I would quite happily sit down for like a Wilson Tong mop-up day, and you did like 6 or 7 films in a day, and then you were, there we go, good. Then my Wilson Tong,
Wilson Tong sorted. Yeah, I'd do exactly the same.
Anyway.
No, I would do absolutely the same thing, because we're in the Wilson Tong groove now.
Right. Yes. We're near Wilson Tong's dong.
Yeah, and as you say, or as I said earlier on, it falls between two stools. It falls between.
Yeah, I hope there's no stool there. Dirty bums, Wilson Tong.
Well, that's it. There is the danger of a Klingon in the Gooch.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
He might be able to choreograph action, but can he wipe his ass?
But no, I think. If you're interested in, gangster adjacent ghost stories, then that surely is a niche. Surely is a niche that a groove that Wilson Tong carved out.
Yes.
You've got and
there, haven't you?
I have a bit, yeah. You say something.
Well, no, I think that's kind of covers it, right? I think that's about it. I don't think we've missed anything.
No.
But no, quite a quietly revelatory little show.
Yeah. But it's the other side of that is that there's nothing really kind of jumped out of the watch list and said,
no,
look at me, I'm amazing. But there's something really interesting in each one of those films.
Yeah, I think this was unfair because I haven't seen it, but I think this was probably time more well spent than going to watch Avatar 2.
Yeah.
Let's put it that
way. There you go. Yeah, so if you're thinking about buying a ticket to Avatar 2,
Don't. Go and
Then
watch...
no. Yeah.
yeah.
Watch. Are any of these on YouTube? I can't remember. Did we watch any on YouTube?
Well,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Duel
Gods
of
of
Masters.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Duel of the Masters on YouTube. You know, you might have to go down some
Get in
alleyways.
the Gucci groove with your Gucci guys, Clive and Darren.
So you for the end song, because the middle song is going to have to be Cantonese
Yes.
final
I'm
countdown.
not going to do it again. I'm pushing my luck there.
No, yeah, you are definitely. But you know the end song. You know you're going to have to do a little search now, don't you, on Spotify or on music related sites for something with the word Gooch.
Oh,
End song.
I could do. Or yeah, if I can't find that, I'll have to find something about a bus.
No.
How do you spell Gooch?
Well, I'm assuming it's GOOCH.
Ah, okay, because I assumed GUCHE.
Oh, no. I could be completely wrong. There we are. There's a song called Gooch's Songs. There's the Gooch Palms as a band.
Okay.
Lucy. There's a Lucy Gooch.
Okay. Well, I'll have it said. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put up anything rubbish. So
No.
yeah. So is that going by your spelling, the GWCH?
Yeah.
Okay.
GW. If you were to go on Spotify, which I just did,
Right.
you would find many songs and even artists called Gooch.
Okay. Well, I don't have that newfangled technology, but I'll try and find something using my wooden music diviner that I keep.
So long as you put enough coal on it, it'll be all right, Clive.
Right. All right. I promise, Darren. Well, I don't promise. I will try my very best. That coming up right now is a song with Gooch in the title or the artist.
Why when we mention when we're talking about the Gooch and songs, do I keep hearing in my head that My Sharona song?
I don't know.
Why? What is the association in my brain with that My Sharona song and Gooch?
Dun, 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 dun. No, it doesn't work. No,
it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
In at least a syllable.
Yeah, who sang it? What was the band?
Ah, I've got it. It was sung by a douche, which sounds like Gooch.
Well done. Yeah.
Very song.
I'll agree with that.
Right, this is
Consensus at last.
At a rapid speed, Darren. So I think we better say bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Merry Gooch to you all.
Merry Gooch and a Gucci New Year.